those moments when Arizona Congresswoman Gabby Giffords returned to the House for just the second time since her near-fatal shooting. She resigned her seat in an emotional ceremony that drew praise from both sides of the aisle. Unfortunately, the good feelings didn't last. In today's Deep Dive, we head to Arizona's 8th District, where there's an increasingly tough battle in that special election to finish out Giffords' terms. Democrat Ron Barber locked in a dead heat with Iraq War veteran Republican Jessica Kelly, with just 6 days to go before next week's special election. Barber, who served as one of Giffords' top aides and took 2 bullets during the Tucson shooting, was handpicked by Giffords to be her successor. Kelly is facing his second tough race here in 2 years. He ran against Giffords herself 2010 before losing by 2 points. In a way, he's running against her again. Giffords will personally campaign alongside Barber at a rally on Saturday, one of just a handful of appearances she's made since the shooting last January. But Republican groups have poured more than $1 million into an anti-Barber campaign that focuses on another connection, back to President Obama.
Obamacare, a national energy tax, lost jobs, more debt? Of course, Ron Barber supported it. So can we trust Barber to challenge Washington? Of course not. Rubber stamp Ron Barber. More failed Obama policies that hurt Arizona.
That ad from the NRCC reflects a running theme from Republicans, despite Barber's best attempts to keep President Obama at arm's length. He doesn't mention the president on the campaign trail, not even a picture of him on Barber's campaign website. Why? Of the 425,000 registered voters in this version of Arizona's 8th District, and I'll tell you why I say that in a moment, Republicans outnumber Democrats by 25,000, with independents making up the rest of the electorate. It doesn't help Barber that the president's approval rating in the state is upside down. The DCCC says any attempt, though, to focus on Barber and Obama is an attempt to distract from Jesse Kelly's past statements and record. Kelly has faced blistering attacks from Democratic groups portraying him as a far-right conservative who wants to eliminate Social Security and Medicare. But the most damaging blow of late may be this ad released just this week by a pro-Democratic Party super PAC.
And 2 years ago, Kelly said this about Gabby Giffords.
And now she stands there with that smile and pretends to be some kind of hometown hero. She's a hero of nothing.
Do you really want Jesse Kelly representing you?
The important point here is that Kelly made those comments before Giffords was shot in a 2010 speech criticizing votes she made in Congress. Despite the fact that it's marked with the date, local papers have criticized the ad as misleading. Of course, in a race this tight, even something like this can be a difference maker. And by the way, this is one of those bizarre instances. Arizona 8's been redistricted. The new district is actually more Democratic, but that doesn't get voted on until the November general election. This special election is taking place under the old lines, and it's slightly more Republican. Joining me now is the Republican congressional candidate, Jesse Kelly. Mr. Kelly, I just simply want to ask you to respond to that ad. Those were your words. You had some tough rhetoric in 2010. You've changed a lot of your rhetoric since. How do you respond to that ad?
There's not much of a response needed, frankly, Chuck. As you said, that was 2010. It was several months before the tragedy. It's taken completely out of context. It is meant to mislead the voters, and it's sad to see the Democratic Party try to exploit such a tragedy for political gain. It really is sad. There's no other word to describe it but that.
Let me ask you this. Some other things that you've said on the campaign trail in 2010 have been used in TV ads, and one is you referred to Social Security as a Ponzi scheme, and now you say you're going to protect Social Security. How did you change your views on Social Security so quickly in less than 2 years?
Well, nothing actually changed, Chuck. What we said before and what we're saying now is that we have to protect the benefits that seniors have earned while giving choices to future generations. See, this is another lie that the other side is told. They didn't play those old statements in context.
Ponzi scheme is not a compliment to any, and so when you refer to all of Social Security as a Ponzi scheme, that's not complimenting the program at all.
No, it's not complimenting the politicians is what it's not doing, Chuck, because they didn't take that hard-earned money that people worked for their entire lives and saved it as they said they would. They took it and did what politicians always do. They spent the money, and now they turn around and they cry poor, and that's just not fair. It's not fair to seniors currently on it, and it's not fair to future generations who are facing a bankrupt system unless we give them choices.
The other part was Medicare. You believe at some point you need to phase it out. That's what you said in 2010. What do you mean by phase out Medicare?
The exact same way we can deal with Social Security, and that's simply give people choices right now. Right now, Medicare recipients are getting less quality care than they ever have because the access to doctors is decreasing. That's because the government simply won't pay its bills. Doctors are trying to get paid for the Medicare patients, and they're not getting paid by the government. Give future generations choices so they won't be stuck with anything bad.
I want to ask you about some stuff that you may vote on if you do get elected, and that the biggest one coming up might be this issue with student loans. How would you, first of all, are you in favor of trying to fix the interest rate on student loans so that it does not double?
I'm in favor of it, but I'm in favor of taking care of that after we take care of the most important things right now, and that's stopping the Obama tax increases. That's making sure we don't increase the debt ceiling without spending concessions. It's things like that that the Congress needs to be sinking its teeth into right now.
So what you would say is let it double, because it's going to double on July 1st. Go ahead and let it double now, deal with it later?
What I can say is I say the same thing the Speaker of the House is saying right now. Deal with that retroactively. Deal with the huge problems right now.
Deal with it retroactively. So let it double, people pay it, and then you would somehow give them a rebate later?
Right now, Chuck, the businesses in this country have $2 trillion in money in liquid that they could spend on stimulating this economy. They won't do it until the Obama tax increases are stopped. That's where we need to focus on. This race has always been focused on lower taxes, using American energy to create jobs. That's where our focus of our nation needs to be.
If you come up short on this special election, are you going to run in the fall for sure?
Absolutely.
Okay, Jesse Kelly, Republican nominee in the special election out there. Thanks for coming on. Friday on the show, I'll have my interview with Democrat Ron Barber, who faces off against Jesse Kelly. We'll be right back. You're watching the Daily Rundown, only on SNBC.